I know. It's like,
We can just put for next week.
you're all alone, Melissa.
Oh, look at that.
It's okay.
All right, I hate to say this,
I don't know.
but we're all being,
Or Nathan.
Until 6:30. I just thought,
there's no,
sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Does anybody else need a,
do you notice that?
Well,
do they have?
They have them.
3, 4, 5, 6.
check it out. I'm reading.
All right, nice to see you here. Who's not here? Steve's not here.
Oh,
Here comes Stephen.
Hey.
We good? Okay. Good evening. Welcome. This is the meeting of the Pioneer Valley Regional School District School Committee. Today is Thursday, August 10th, 2023. We're meeting in the PVRS library and online at www.facebook/BNC Television and at www.pvrsdk12.org. It's 6:03. I'm going to call the meeting to order. And why don't we go around for our attendance? So I know we don't technically have to, but I will.
Stephen Martin, finally here from Northfield.
Right on
Melissa-
time.
Melissa Gary present.
Michelle Geruso Leiden here.
Karen O'Neill, Leiden here.
Gretchen Kelton, Bernardston, here.
Sylvia Cummings, Northfield, here.
And Raina Dastu here. All right. So our next order of business is the citizens' comments. I don't see any citizens in the audience, and I don't think we've heard from any. So we'll move on to the chair's report. So a big welcome to Sylvia Cummings, your first meeting. Thank you. Sylvia is filling a vacancy from the town of Northfield, so we're glad to have you at the table. Thank you for stepping up and to serve. We had our retreat in July, which was, I think, a really great meeting. Melissa, we missed you, but we had some great discussions. It was a really productive meeting, and we'll try to share some of the ideas and thoughts that came from that. So I'm also working on editing a member handbook, which I'm going to try to share next month for review, just to have some of the basics for new members and just as a reference for members who've been part of the school committee as a little refresher. And yesterday we also had the first meeting of the facilities planning committee, or district planning committee, for our facilities master plan. It was facilitated by Canon Design, our consultant who's working on the facilities master plan. It was a fabulous meeting, and really we had some great discussions about our visions for the district, and how we want our facility to support our educational mission and our programming. So there is room for another school committee member on the district planning committee, so I would encourage anyone who's interested to get involved. The time commitments have been shared via email from the superintendent. We can share those again if need be. There are four more meetings that are planned, two of which are community forums to look for, to get community input. So, all right. Cheers. Moving on to superintendent's report.
Great, thank you. Well, on the theme of retreats, the administrative team, newly constituted, just finished today its third day of retreat. And a big thank you to Northfield Mount Herman, our generous neighbors. We were in Beverage Hall in their lovely Rhodes room, and they gave us breakfast and lunch every day. It was fantastic. How nice it is to be fed good, healthy, delicious food, and we didn't have to do the dishes. So we will send a thank you to them, and in particular Charlie Tierney, assistant head of school. What a delightful fellow, and really a generous neighbor. Thank you, Northfield Mount Herman. Thank you, Russell Duperé. Council was there this afternoon. He gave a terrific legal seminar for our team, and we'll be bringing him back because there's even more for us to be learning. So thank you, Russell, for participating. I agree with the chair. Yesterday's district planning committee was off to a fantastic start. 4 jam-packed hours. I'm going to give a shout out to Lex Singh, 11th grade student. Gosh, did Lex represent student voice as well. Lex will be joined by Calla McCune, who is enrolling in PVRS for her senior year. She'll be a student at GCC, but she'll be ours. And Calla wants to be part of the district planning committee, so good on her.
Oh,
Yeah, right? Good on her. Okay, also at the retreat, our safety partners, Lieutenant Bob Haye, Officer Jim Carmichael, formerly of the state police, but now of the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, and Shannon Gilbo, who has replaced him at the state police. They joined us yesterday. They had lunch with us, and they gave a nice seminar on safety planning. We have set the dates for all 4 of the lockdown drills for the year. We have set dates for staff trainings in all buildings, and we are going above and beyond. We are set dates for walkthroughs even before any of the other events. Will be joined in Bernardston by the building inspector and fire chief, because we have a few specific questions about Bernardston. But we are, we're on it. We got our safety stuff happening. And Officer Carmichael and I continue to work on a redraft of our emergency procedures manual, which I would never bring to this table, but just want you to know he and I are collaborating on a full redo of that. Lastly, we shared with you the wonderful safety grant that we got, $141,000. Just saying again, we were the 4th or 5th highest in the state. I think what I did not significantly trumpet at this table was the Playful Learning Grant, which we got in March, but I never fully, said, hey, look at us. Only 5 districts in the state got it, and we got it. And we got the maximum amount allowed, $68,000. So Renee Keir has been involved in that. That is connected to Harvard's Project Zero. connected to the Boston Public Schools. I'm a former early childhood educator in the Boston Public Schools, and I know even when I was there, Boston was really doing interesting work at trying to build great curriculum for young teachers, for teachers and young children. So I want to make sure we're letting everybody know about these things. Lastly, a couple of things about tonight's meeting. You'll notice our colleague Jordan Burns is not here. He just came back from China on Monday night. So he's doing the financial report next week. Okay. And I told him to go home. There's something else about this meeting. Hang on. Oh, we're not doing the personnel update. We typically give you the personnel update on the first meeting of the month, but we're in flux right now. There are too many moving parts, so we're going to wait till next week to do that. I will share a couple of recent hires with you because they are so gosh darn exciting. Our instructional technology teacher at the elementary grades has left the district. We made an administrative decision to replace that position with a second gym teacher. We're looking for that person. And we have also decided that we have instructional assistants who have served so capably in the libraries. And we made the decision to transition that role into a fully credentialed librarian who will work between both schools. I am delighted to share. We landed someone who is a Harvard graduate, Simmons graduate, and anyone who knows libraries, Simmons is, right?
Yeah.
MIT librarian, 23 years in public education and libraries. She is a certified ISTE, that's technology. And she's families with a friend of mine from Boston who's a Brookline High librarian, whose kids I taught.
Small world.
Look at us. And she's coming from a local district to remain unnamed. I am telling you, the word is getting out that this district is a place where experienced people want to come. We have a woodshop teacher.
Oh.
Wait until you hear about the woodshop teacher. Some people have mullets. Just saying, some people have mullets. And they come to us with many years of independent carpentry experience. Come to us having worked at the Franklin County Jail, running an organic gardening program with inmates, right? Sylvia, poor Sylvia. Poor Sylvia came to meet with Raina and me last night, and I just talked her ear off about this stuff. Yes, that is what he did. And then for the past 5 years, he's been working for the Literacy Project in Greenfield, doing adult basic education, most recently with many more 16 and 17-year-old students for whom public school hasn't been working. So he's got that young person, and gosh, is he excited to get to work here, open up the wood shop, work with our new environmental educator who has just started, and gosh, a dynamo. So it's really gratifying to be able to share with you that, people are moving on, right? People move on. And some folks have asked me, like, aren't I stressed? And isn't that bad? It's like, you know what? Everybody is an independent economic agent. And all of us, every worker has the right to go look for the job that works best for them. Even if it's the week before school. Is that a drag? You bet it is. But everybody has the right to go find a job. And we'll be okay. We will be okay. So I think that's it on my little notes. Yeah.
Quick question. 2 quick questions,
Yeah.
okay? I just noticed here it says playful learning grant. It doesn't say whether it's adult or children. Just to keep that in consideration as well as possible. And also appreciate the Greenfield Recorder both new principals.
Yeah.
We've
Quite
all
new, but
three.
All 3.
Cindy
Really
was the
wonderful.
other day.
Yep.
And John Lepore
Yep.
in the
Yes.
paper the other day.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, Chris Lowry's going to town. Thank you, Chris. So nice. So nice. Thank you.
Wonderful to see that. Great. Lots of exciting things happening. Can't wait to see what comes out of woodshop. So our next order of business is the school committee governance subcommittee reorganization. This was we had a memo at our last meeting, and then during the we had a brief discussion at the retreat. So folks have had a chance to see this before tonight and have some explanation. Are there any questions? So the reason why it's coming tonight is so that we can officially vote on these new organization for the subcommittees. Any questions? Or we right. So I guess I will entertain a motion to approve the,
So I'll move. I'll move to approve the reorganization of this school committee subcommittees as listed above.
Second.
all right. And I guess we're all in person, so we can just vote all in favor. Say
Yep.
aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, that passes unanimously. Thank you. All right. So moving on to our next item, the PVASP MOA for work hours in year 2023-24. Nope, there's a typo there.
Oops, sorry. So first, again, I want to thank Melissa Peliquin and other leadership of the PVASP for their collaborative approach to hammering out this year's MOA. You have seen this previously in executive session. We're bringing it forward in public. I asked Jordan to map out the increased cost for the 43.5 extra hours per year. When all is said and done with the extra hours and the shifts in positions, the increased cost is actually $3,591 for the year. I can tell you a little bit more about that. We've got BES Classroom is under for IAs by 18,000 more or less. BES Special Education is over 67,000. BES Library under 15. I can go on and on. There's a lot of moving parts, but overall, the cost to the district is projected to be $3,500.
And under this, the IAs will get more
Yeah, we should say
PD
that on the record.
time.
So the IAs, and we're so grateful, the instructional assistants have agreed to come in for the 3 days before school begins. They will remain for the that September 1st Friday, a half day. They will be here for the 2 in-service days. There are 3 half days during the year when teachers will get professional development. IAs will as well, because we are contracting with the Collaborative for Education Services. They will be providing ongoing training for the IAs throughout the year from someone who started out as an instructional assistant. And we have checked her out with several districts who say she's terrific. All of the elementary instructional assistants will begin on August 28th with a full day, however, from Responsive Classroom. So they will start that. And we are close to signing with FERCOG, the Franklin County Regional Council of Governments, with their trainer for a restorative justice for up here at Pioneer. And the first day for that in this building would also include the instructional assistants. So we are just delighted that these important workers who deserve a coherent, well mapped out professional development plan for the year, we hope we'll be getting that this year.
I just want to, thank you. You're welcome to take a seat, Jim, if you'd like. So, I just want to say, I think, IAs, I feel like, are the backbone of our educational system. They're really key, so important for the classroom, and it's great to see them getting that professional development time and some making an investment in their training so that they can feel confident doing their jobs. All right, so we need
A motion
to approve.
I move that we approve this memorandum of agreement between the school committee of Pioneer Valley Regional School District and the Pioneer Valley Association of Support Professionals.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Thank you. Any opposed? Seeing none, that passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So job description for Assistant Athletic Director.
Okay, I will take this. We brought this to Curriculum and Personnel the other night, and Curriculum and Personnel recommended that we bring this forward to the full school committee. The school committee approved an updated job description for the athletic director back in April. With some staff changes in the building and our thinking in general that we want to invest strategically whenever possible in the student experience, we have decided to hire a second PE teacher in this building. That person will be the PE teacher who teaches the Intro to Coaching course, and we happen to have hired someone who is the Massachusetts Director for the National High School Strength and Conditioning Association. And it is our intention to overhaul the auxiliary gym and make that a more inviting, more effective place, not only for students, but our community, and get people in there. Let's get people into the building. So we have moved to that model, again, of having a faculty member serve as the athletic director. Overall, we want to invest in our athletics and health programming in the district. We want to make sure that our new athletic director gets sufficient support for what he will be doing. And there are some challenges that come with overall much greater benefit to having a full-time faculty member take on the AD role. And there are restrictions, right? They have to leave and go to the athletic director meetings. They've got to get on the phone when they need. We think it's important to have a second person there as a backup, helping the athletic director out. So you have in front of you a proposed job description, and in general, this person assists the athletic director. I want to thank once again our Curriculum and Personnel Subcommittee reviews these draft job descriptions just so carefully. And I'm grateful for that, the careful eye, and we made multiple changes based on important feedback from the subcommittee. Lastly, approval of the job description has no relationship to negotiations about a stipend, right? Money is separate from a job description, and approval of a job description doesn't mean that we go hire someone for the role. It just means it is the school committee's role to approve a name for a position and what that position entails.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Steve.
Thank you very much. Just thinking as a former high school coach, perhaps the addition of just a couple words where it mentions on the first sentence of the second paragraph, managing equipment, practice and game schedules, and associated logistics. Am I looking at the right job description?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
game schedule,
getting people back and forth to the games and schedules, to me, seems like that's a major part of an athletic director role, and it's not really itemized here. Maybe I'm wrong. But it's not just putting the schedules together. It's like, we need a bus for this, and it has to have 14 kids on it, and leave at this time, and also talking about it. But I think
No, I appreciate that.
I think that's great. When we reviewed this, one of the things that I kept getting stuck on is this is the assistant to the athletic director. And so what is the assistant really? We wanted to have the athletic director do the managing, a lot of the busing and the scheduling, and the assistant kind of comes in as a backup person. And so we had taken some of those assists with or
Coach evaluation.
there was like coach evaluations, but other things that actually could what's the word? They're not interfering with each other, but kind of. We wanted to have a clear delineation between what the athletic director was doing and what the assistant was doing. And so I think when it comes to the scheduling and the buses, my perception is that is really the athletic director, not the assistant.
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I have a question. What if the assistant director ends up having to act as the director at one point? Wouldn't we want that explicit teased out in the job description? For me, that's what I wouldn't want. Because that might happen where they're actually having to act as the athletic director.
I don't think there would be. I don't think there's a problem with putting in something like when necessary, the assistant athletic director will stand in for the athletic director. Does that sound like good language?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will put that. I'll put it right up top.
In the absence of or something.
In the
Yeah, it could also go as the last bullet.
last bullet.
Yeah.
When necessary, in the absence of the athletic director.
Mm-hmm.
Russell, how's that sound?
the first try.
You could say as defined in the athletic director's job description.
I knew you.
Yep.
Okay, tell me what to write, Russell.
I think I would state what you did, which is in the absence of the athletic director, performs the duties of athletic director as defined in the athletic director's job description. Just to make it clear, it's the entire thing that they would actually be taking over.
Mhm.
I'm going to read it back. Here's what I have. In the absence of the athletic director, the assistant athletic director will perform the duties of the athletic director as defined in the job description for the athletic director.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
All right. Any other comment? Yes.
Could you please remind me, for the athletic director himself, or herself, in this case himself, what dedicated time does that person have for the job?
They have a reduction of 1 teaching period per day.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
And we're not making that proposal.
Yeah, I know.
Money is
I know,
separate.
I know,
I have to remember.
I know,
Money is
I know.
separate. Yep.
Just wanted to see how they
Yep.
synced in time.
All right. Any other questions or comments? None? Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll move. I'll move the assistant athletic director job description with the added amendment that we just added this evening.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to the voting. All in favor, say aye. No, any opposed? Nope. And that passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So policy review for policy GDD. Do you want me to? Or?
So I can take that one. So I'm going to combine bullets D and E. So for the policy GDD that we are talking about, this policy was added when we did the bulk addition and adoption of the policies in October of 2022. This policy never has been in existence previous, and it also has not been negotiated or in any collective bargaining since 1994. So superintendent was requested for information by the PVASP about what this policy was. So we pulled up the policy, looked at it. Joanne had reached out to our policy subcommittee a couple times. We were unable to find a common time for us to meet. And so in conversation with Patricia, we decided to move it forward to the full committee to possibly rescind or amend this policy. So what the policy has to do with is vacation time for 10-month employees that has never been part of. So what we're looking for is to first step, rescind this policy, but to do it tonight, which means the first step is to take a vote on, I have it here in my notes, to vote to waive the first and the second reading, so we don't have to put this on next week's agenda.
Mm-hmm.
So we can waive the first and second reading of policy GDD. And then the second would be to vote to amend or rescind the policy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does anyone have any questions?
2/3 vote.
Yeah, we'll need a 2/3 vote to rescind or to skip the first and second reading if there's not one. Yeah.
About the policy itself, is it appropriate?
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Okay. So just for clarification, for my own understanding,
Yeah.
so teachers that have been in the district for at least 10 years have this benefit.
No.
No.
They don't. Okay.
Nope.
So,
So what the policy did. So the policy is on the last page, and what it outlines is that 10-month employees would get vacation time
and this is for the support person.
for the support personnel.
Just not the teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
I move that we waive the first and second readings of policy GDD, support staff vacations and holidays.
Second.
Any further discussion? And so let's go ahead and vote. All in favor? And any opposed? All right. And anyone abstaining? Okay, thank you. So one abstention. That passes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So moving on to the discussion about amending or rescinding the policy. So again, this was a policy that has not been our past practice, and it did not exist in our previous policy manual. I believe this is a model policy from MASC that was adopted at the time that we adopted the new manual in bulk.
And there is
Yeah,
a reference to Mass General laws. I looked at it, it has nothing to say about that.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll move to rescind policy GDD.
I'll second that.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Yes.
I just want to confirm, you're rescinding the entire policy?
Mhm.
Is that correct tonight? That's the vote that you're looking
Yep.
for?
Yes. So the policy, so we're to rescind it. We would remove it from our policy manual, and this is something that's would need to be bargained at the bargaining table, if that's yes.
I have a further question, if
Yeah.
I might. I just want to confirm, because I was actually part of the review of this that brought this up. So I just want to confirm, in reviewing this, if you're rescinding the entire policy in its entirety, it brings to question our support staff who are employed for 12 months out of the year, and that they do have paid vacations already. So I want to just be clear that our contract, and I'll have to go pull it up real quick and look at it. If our contract doesn't have vacations in it currently for our 12-month employees who currently get those vacation time, is rescinding this entire policy going to remove that?
The vacation language is in the contract.
Just making sure, because I
No,
haven't,
good thing.
I can
Yeah,
pull it out
correct.
real quick,
No,
but it seemed easier to
The language
read
is
it.
in the contract.
Okay.
And it's and the exact language around those vacations has been in the 10 contracts that the PVASP
Correct.
has
That is
signed since
not
its inception.
changing.
That's
Right.
not
We're still
changing.
going
Yeah.
back.
So this won't affect the contract itself.
Yes.
The contract is
It's still
separate
separate.
from
Okay.
the policy. Yeah.
It was my understanding, but I just felt it was important to.
That's good. Good to clarify that. Yes.
Yes, I'll probably ask the same question in a different way or just confirm, which is basically one could look at policy GDD and it would just see contract.
Right.
Essentially.
Right.
We're just taking this out of, we're not making this policy anymore. We're rescinding it.
Right.
Right.
And now it defaults.
To the
Only to the contract.
negotiation.
Is that-
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have,
Yes. Yeah. So this won't change any of the language. It's currently in the contract. It doesn't affect your ability to
Right.
come to the bargaining table
Yeah.
thank you.
requests. So.
And there will probably be other policies like this. You will see, like the COVID policy that is in our policy book that we may not need anymore. So there is going to be different policy coming up that doesn't necessarily need to be in policy because a contract is superseding of that. Yeah.
All right.
I'm so second.
Any further discussion? All right, so we're ready to take a vote. All in favor, say aye. And any
Opposed?
Again.
opposed? Opposed. Blanking on the word. And then any abstentions? Thank you. All right, so one abstention and 1, 2, 3, 6 in favor. That passes. All right. Okay.
Ask that.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think that there is any other business that we would need to return from executive session for. So we could, would entertain a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, 1, to discuss a complaint or charge brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual, and we would not be returning to open session. We would adjourn in executive session.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a
Second.
second? Thank you. And this one we do need a roll call vote for. So, Stephen?
Stephen Martin, yes.
Melissa Gary, yes.
Michelle Druso, yes.
Karen O'Neill, yes.
Gretchen Kelton, yes.
Sylvia Cummings, yes.
And Raina Dastu, yes. Thank you. Wow.
Hi there, good to see you.
So these are
Memorize this?